All right, we're back here. It's a Monday, and I think the last one we filmed was late last week. So it's been a few days, but Ben is back here, so we're gonna do one quick. What I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna go back to the same spot. We've been working on extending her line. We've been extending her through, sit up, sit. We've been working on extending her through where that woods kind of chokes down to the trail, where she had a hesitancy to push through. We're setting this up in an area repetitively, over and over and over. We're gonna work in the same spot. We're gonna slowly add some distance. We're gonna slowly add some delay to it. But our objective is to push her back to the same spot to make retrieves. And it stemmed from that little pile of cover over there. When we threw in 2 or 3 dummies, we'd send her in for one, she'd always get it. But then I'd send her back for the second, and she wasn't confident enough to go back to the same spot. So we're gonna set up more of like a pattern blind or a pattern memory where we're gonna do the exact same thing over and over and over again. One of the things I'm gonna change eventually over there is right now we're kind of laddering them out. We're getting her to extend a little bit further each time. Where that was where she was hesitant. She wanted to hang up after she'd make the long retrieve. She'd want to hunt short. So we're going short, medium, long. So we're changing that pattern of hers to get longer each time. Eventually what we'll do is we'll put 3 of them scattered in the end and send her to it, and she'll have to run the same distance 3 times in a row. But before we can do that, because we've run into some problems with it, so before we can do that, we're gonna build up to it. Before we go over there and do that, in the past we've done some hunt commands in the snow. The snow has gotten very crusty. She sometimes doesn't even break through it anymore. We've had some warm weather, we've had some rain, we've had freezing temperatures, so now there's some crust in the snow. So the tennis ball may hide, but it doesn't hide very well. So we would really have to try to punch this thing through, and it might not even if I did that. So we're not gonna do that drill today. We did it 3 days last week. We're gonna give that drill a break. Instead, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna send her out on a real long trailing memory to start out today. So our heel work will be essential. We put her on a lead, we heeled her past the pheasants. I'm gonna throw a feathered dummy next to the pheasant pen, which in the past created such an issue with her that she would have been very distracted and had a hard time making that retrieve. So today we're gonna add that to her plate. She's been desensitized a bit to these birds as far as her wanting to chase them. I have not allowed it. I certainly have not gotten on her with a lot of pressure. I haven't corrected her for it. I simply took away the opportunity for her to have a lack of control around those birds. And so her focus in the last couple months, I've mentioned it recently, is really been magnified. I like to say she's grown up a little bit. She's matured quite a bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the retrieve a little bit closer to those birds and see how she's able to avoid that temptation and hunt down this dummy. So we're gonna set that up to start out, and we're gonna lengthen it out. We're gonna send her on a pretty decent length of retrieve here. So I may flip-flop it. So this is kind of gonna be how we warm up. We're gonna work on heel work, setting up this long trailing memory. I'm gonna send her on this one. I may send her then into the cover, because that's one of the things that we're working on over there with our laddered drill, is getting her into cover. So I may bring her into that cover and come back and send her into the cover. So this one is wide open. The distraction is the birds. She's gonna have to run this long distance, hunt an area that's relatively open, not really a pocket of cover by any means. Although I could put it in the cattails, and maybe I'll do that. That's probably what I will do. I'll make her go past the birds and hunt the cover. And so then I'm getting the value of hunting in cover. I'm getting the value of leave those birds alone, go focus on the job at hand, and then we can reverse it and we can do it into cover that way. If I really wanted to, I could set it up as a 180 double that way. And maybe we will, maybe we won't, but I'm gonna heel her out. And then from there, we're gonna go and we're gonna do that ladder. And we're gonna get another day of patterning in the exact same spot so that we can eventually turn it into 3 dummies together, and eventually we could run those as blinds. So to start this out, to ensure her success, I'm gonna walk her past the birds. on lead, lots of control. It's the first one we're doing, so we're just kind of starting out and warming up. Nice loose lead though. You can see sometimes she's on top, sometimes she breaks through. Now I'm going to take the feathered dummy, pitch it into cover. Watch. You give her a little watch cue, let her take a picture of it in her mind, and walk her past these birds. Gotta have good heel work. I'm gonna unclip her lead. So she's just got the adjustable leader collar. She's got a tendency early on in these sessions, she really wants to get going. So you'll notice my pace is much slower. And so one thing I'm going to do here, as I've been thinking about it, is I won't go to the far end to send her for this one. I'm just going to go about a third of the way. So it's a much shorter retrieve, much easier retrieve for her to make. The reason I'm doing it is because I added a little bit heel. I added a little bit with the idea of going past the birds, heel, and into the cover. So I take about a third of the distance. So we're going to set it up. I'm going to send her on this. It's a much easier retrieve from right here than it is from back there. We're going to send her on this one. She hopefully makes this successfully. From that, I'll piggyback on it. I'll go put it back in the same spot, and then I'll run the double, and then I'll pitch one into that cover, and then I'll send her on this one. We'll send her on that one. So instead of going full length and then double, we're going to go a third, full length, double. And so we're just adding a step in there in the middle to ensure that we get a little bit better odds of success. I'm not trying to trick her in training. I'm trying to teach her something. So we're going to incrementally build on little successes. This has enough on it between the cover and the birds. Watch. Bella. She's a little quicker than I was on my name, but I'm not going to correct her for that. See a little bit of suction to the birds, but she pushed through that. That was real good. Good girl. Very good. See on the way out how she's just naturally kind of pulled towards those birds. Well, she did a very nice job of focusing through. Very good. That's a nice little girl. Hold, hold. We've been working on getting her to the front. Hold. Very good. You can tell this, get up, sit up. You can tell this snow is, come on, come on. She's a little flat today. Dead. Good girl. Now yesterday I had her up north where the snow is really deep, 30 inches. Sit. Right back under control. Sit. Yesterday I had her up north. She chased us, kind of her and Spry ran behind us with the snowmobile. She followed along with me while I was plowing out my parents' driveway. She spent a lot of time running in the deep snow yesterday, and I think she's sore today. I mean, she ran quite a bit. This snow is really hard. You want to see how hard it is. You run through it, and you'll realize how much drag there is. So it's really wearing on these dogs to run through this stuff. So you could tell as she got back, she's tired and she nearly falls over. Heel. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to reset this. And I am going to set it up under control. I was real happy with that step one. Good. Love her heeling position. I don't mind her brushing my knee. See how she makes a little bit of contact with me at times? I don't mind that. I don't want her leaning in and pushing me. So if she were to get too much, I'd bump into her a little bit and get my speed. But you see how I bump into her? I wanted to show you. I really didn't need to or want to. But I bump into her and she goes, oop, I'm in this space. Heel. And now she gets out a little bit. Heel. Again, this drill is not a heel work drill. This is where we can implement and practice and use good heel work, but it shouldn't be where we're working on it. So if it becomes a distraction because I can't keep her in heel position, I have a very simple fix. I just put the lead back on. And we don't focus on gaining much heel work, but I make a mental note of it. I go, her heel work was real sloppy. And so it was and is. Watch the difference. Heel. I can't have her thinking about heel work. She's got enough to think about with the idea of, I got to go past these birds, I got to go into this cover. This time she's going to have to think about twice, because there's going to be 2 dummies. Watch. Watch. See where her head is? All over the place. Sit. Sit. Watch. Nice little focus there, and then we'll move on. I'm not going to let her head be on a swivel looking at all kinds of other stuff. So we just fix that little bit of sloppy heel work. Oh. Embarrassing for the poor girl. She says, now I feel a lot better. Probably part of the heel issue. Heel. So here's where we sent her from last time. So now we're going to just take another chunk of distance, add another layer of distance to it. But we've already established where that retrieve is. So the idea is make it a little easier for her to understand. Good girl. Good. Good. Now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go into this. That's pheasant track, isn't it? Is that pheasant or turkey? Must be turkey maybe, huh? Little turkey track. So this time I'm going to go into this cover actually, because I want her to continue to get better at pushing in to cover. So with this second dummy, we're going to come in here. Pitch it through. Watch. Yeah. And when she gives me that real focused look, real intently with those ears perked the way they are, her tail kind of gets a real nice little cadence. She's taking that picture of it. She's reading that cue and going, there it is. Now I'm going to heel her off of it. And we're going to send her back to the first one. So she's going to have to remember that one. So this is building on memory. It's also an example of when we send her, it combines some of the stuff we're working on trying to get better at over there. When I line her and send her for something, she should go. These are memories, so we try not to line her if we don't have to. That last time I sent her on her name, she went just a fuzz early on me, which I was okay with. I wasn't going to correct it. We'll get that later. Now, the way to fix that would have been this. Just get a hold of her. Watch. Now there's a little bit of noise over there. One of the guys is just getting here to work, so a little bit of noise. So we're going to make sure she's focused. And it's all about reading her. Right now she's not sure. Her ears are kind of pinned back a little bit. She's not sure what we're going to do. Heel. So I'm going to take a step forward. Sit. Sit. Watch. Watch. Bella. She's not sure. And I'm going to take the gloves off because they're going to get hung up in that heel. So she's forgotten about this. I can tell. Sit. Sit. Watch. Watch. Bella. Bella. She's just forgotten about it. Real unsure. And to be honest with you, I'm unsure about her right now. For a second there, I thought she had it. So if I'm unsure and she's unsure, we're both unsure. Sit. Watch. Bella. Bella. Good. Watch. Bella. Bella. Yeah, no. Come on. Freshest one in her mind is that one. So I'm 100% gonna make this 100% safe and for sure that we get it right. I'll cheat the hell out of it. Take her all the way up. The double is just too much. Probably could have broke this down into 2 or 3 retrieves this way before we start thinking about a double. And before that, I could have added a couple that way by themselves. So let's just come all the way up to where the last retrieve was. The further we get away from that one, the further we get away from her mind as far as memory goes. Here's the spot we sent her from the first time. Sit. Let's just see if her body language changes a little bit. Watch. Bella. I saw her lean in. She leaned into it right before I whispered Bella. Good girl. Good girl. That's it. Good girl. So she just didn't remember. She got to here and the difference was she went like this. She leaned in. As soon as she leaned in, I knew she had it. Hold, hold. Very nice. Very nice. Did. The other thing about her today is she's noticeably a bit flat. I suppose from yesterday, combined with tough running. This is tough running. Now, we know she remembered that one because she went to it, but I corrected her. So now the question is going to be, does she trust me when I say to go this way, that it's her turn to actually do it? So that's what we're gonna read. I'm gonna take about 1/3 of it off though, distance-wise. So I'm gonna go the second third from that one with her and get her momentum going that way. Watch. She's running with a little bit of purpose. Good girl. Good girl. I have to be careful with her not to say good girl too soon. She hears that and she stops. Where most of my dogs, I say good as they're doing the right thing, and it almost pushes them faster. With her, it slows her up. I think she's almost questioning at times when I say good girl. On her way out, when I say good, I think she's almost stopping to come back. Good girl. Very good. That's a good dog. That is a good girl. Very good. Right here. Hold. Good. Good. Good girl. Did. Good. Good. Put it right back. Hold. Good girl. Right here. Good girl. Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. Good girl. Sit. That's it. Good. Good. Did. Very nice. Nicely done. Now, she's sluggish. She's real sluggish. Let's move over and do our ladder. This is something that we can do again tomorrow. I don't want to get her too worn out because I do want to go and set up this ladder. I want to build off of it. I haven't done it for a couple days. She's showed a little bit of improvement with it, so let's keep that improvement going. This is something I add to my list of things to work on. We can build off of this drill. We can replicate this drill again. Try to get it a little bit cleaner next time. Learn from my mistakes. I don't think the dog did anything wrong there. I think my setup wasn't very good for her to get her to do it right away. I think eventually we'll be able to get her to do it no problem. I think eventually we'll come out, we'll set up doubles, and we'll have something off to the side on a 90 degree, and we'll be able to send her and all that stuff. But that comes eventually. Right now we just got to get this simple stuff done. Sit. Heel. Her footing is a little off with this snow, and you can tell. Good. Very good. Heel. Good. Nice little quick sit to the whistle is what we're looking for. Good. Heel. Very good. Very good. Heel. All right, this one, Ben, you go on the back side of me. We know that when we put a dummy out and tell her to watch, she watches Ben, she doesn't watch the dummy. Sit. I'm gonna use the snow to help me. Put it right in the middle. Stand it up. Watch, watch, watch. Not a very good focus. Watch. Watch. Heel. Sit. Watch. Good. When I get that good, solid look, then we'll move. Ben, you keep coming behind me. Stay this side of me. Because we're going to do it again. Now that one is actually through this narrow little hourglass choking where the woods comes tight to the trail. So she's gonna have to go all the way through to get to that one. Ben, you come to my backside here. Yeah. Sit. Here's another one that she's gonna go. This one's right in the woods. She's gonna have to run through 2/3 of the woods to get to this one. Watch. Yeah. Nice little focus on her. And the first one we're gonna put right at the beginning. where the woods chokes down to this trail. So the first one's gonna be real easy. Short, barely have to go into the cover. I do want her to get in the cover just a little bit. I want her to push into it just a fuzz. Heel. Sit. These are gonna be real easy for her to see. Watch. Good. Now we'll bring her and we'll just send her on the three in a row, same spot, run the same line. We're gonna use go back as her command. She's gonna go back and find one. Go back and find the second, go back and find the third. Take a step forward, sit, sit, good. Watch. Bella. Good girl. Good girl. I'm not going to add any distance to it. We'll let the distance go out that way. Come on. Come on. We built the distance in with the dummy placement. Very good. Good girl. Hold. Hold. I want her to get in the habit of being a little bit of a chin up. Good girl. Good girl. Did. Very nice. Sit. Heel. Heel. Come on. Heel. Come on. Come on. A little bit of puppy in her. That's all right. Watch. Ow. Good girl. Very good. They're not so close that it's too tempting for her that she wants to switch. Pick one, come back. Pick one, come back. Pick one, come back. Very good. Very good. Good girl. Hold. Good. Good girl. Nice little easy dummy for her. Did. Did. Put that one back in. Hold. Ask her to hold it. Very good. Hold. Hold. Good girl. No chomping, no adjusting, just hold. Very good. Did. 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 Very good. Good girl. And now the last one. Take a step. Sit. Watch. Bella. 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 Good. Good girl. Very good. Good girl. That's a good girl. You saw the hesitation. Very good. Lots of praise on that one. That's a good girl. Very good. Very good. That's it. That's it. Hold, hold, hold right here. Hold. That's it. That's it, my girl. Good girl. Did. Good. That's it. Sit up. Sit up. Sit. Now you saw her hesitation. Took 3 times on her name. I read her as she had it. I think she saw it. Took me her third, I think second or third Bella with a little excitement. And she went. And just out of habit for her, I think she held up. And you could see the indecisiveness in her voice. I didn't say anything. She spun around and then she looked back down, and because we used that dark one and we stood it up in the white snow, she could see it and she went, God damn, there it is. And as she went to it, I let her take about 3 or 4 more steps, and then I said, good, 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 good. Just to reassure her that was a real good decision. That was a good one where you actually saw her thinking. You have to be real quick on what your decision is when you see that. Sit down. Sit down. When you see them thinking, what do? because that timing is really critical. I did nothing. I didn't correct her. I mean, some people would have said no there. I know it because it came across, the thought crossed my mind. When she went out and she stopped and she turned back, a lot of people at that point are, no, frustrated. And she would have went and probably wanted to come back to me. Some people are going to encourage, if I encourage her, good, 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 I think if she would have got excited in that spot and went, where is it? I'm going to start to hunt. Because her tendency has been run out short and then hunt when I'm not sure. And so that's why we're doing this, is to get her to forget about the idea of when in doubt, hunt the area, hunt the spot I'm in. Instead, we're trying to get her to think, 1, 2, 3 of them. I got to remember all 3 of them. When he says go back, or he says Bella, I better start running. Now, I didn't use go back there. I probably could have and should have, but we'll get to that. Go back doesn't really mean much to her yet right now. We're going to build that in when she starts doing this more confidently. She understands when I say Bella, she should go. That's how we've lined her to her food. That's how we've lined her on retrieves. The only sticking point right now is that we're doing a lot of retrieves, 3 in a row. And dogs, I've seen dogs run into the problem where they don't want to go back to the same spot for whatever reason. So we have to get them to understand when we say go back there, go back there. This weekend we did a tower shoot where we shot a lot of pheasants, picked up a lot of pheasants, 100 pheasants, over 500 shots, picked up over 100 birds between all the dogs. And it was just tons and tons of action, 10 birds at a time picking up. And we had to send dogs back. I didn't bring her with, obviously. We had Ellie and we had Taylor. And I had to send Ellie back. I was handling her. I had to send her back to the same spot 2-3 times to pick up birds that had fallen in that 10-bird volley. And if she doesn't believe me, I send her and she picks one up because she marked it, then she comes back and there's another one there. After 10, I don't expect that. Dogs aren't going to mark 10 birds. They can't. I can't mark 10 birds and remember them. So when I know there's, in my little area, there's 2 or 3 birds that I got to send her to, I sent her out on one, she picks it and comes back. And then I turn around and I go right back to the same spot. A lot of times dogs will look at you, her in this case, and go, I already got that one, and not want to go back to it. And you have to, if you say it's there, they got to go. And so that was a perfect example this weekend was, I sent dogs back, go back, go back, go back to the same general area. And quite honestly, I put them in a general area because I didn't have a precision mark. I didn't know exactly where they were, but I knew kind of where the wind was, and I knew kind of where the birds were. And I knew if I got them into an area and told them hunt that area, hunt that area, hunt that area, their game finding will likely find it. And that's what it was a perfect application of how we used it this weekend on a shoot. But this is where we have to be able to get her to do that. And so we're going to do drills like this until she goes, and until I can set this thing up where I can go, all 3 of them are out beyond that woods, scattered in a little area there. There's some taller grass, I'll scatter them in there. And then I'll go back and we'll end up on the other side of the pond in the woods. And we'll send her out of the woods. We'll start her in the woods and we'll send her through the woods, across the pond, down the trail, through the woods, into the open, pick the dummy, bring it back. Go back and do it again. Go back and do it again. Go back and do it again. And be able to do that. It's going to take time, and all the little steps need to be there first before we can connect that all. And so we'll do it. And we'll do it just consistently like this. And she's she's better at it today than she was last 2 times. And the whole reason we're doing it is because she had struggled when we sent her across that cover in to get the tennis balls and the bumpers in that cover before. And that was a different drill. That wasn't even this drill. That was a drill to run across the line of cover. Push through cover, run open ground cover, find a bird, come back. This isn't that. This isn't that drill. We're not crossing any physical boundaries. We're going through them on a mowed trail, which visually makes it a lot easier. Mentally, I'm not asking her to run into the brush here. I did ask her to run into the brush over there. So that you can kind of see where all these drills kind of overlap in ways, but they all have unique hurdles, and we need to tackle each hurdle first by itself before you can start stacking it up with the other ones. First retrieves over there, we had birds and we had cover. And so birds and cover, to birds and cover with a little more distance, to a double with pushing into cover, we're just stacking them all up, lining them up, and slowly getting there. We'll get there in the end. But That takes time. And all the while, in the meantime, this is very important. One of the most important things my dogs did this weekend was sit still and not make a noise. And I didn't put them on a leash. I didn't even stand where they were standing. I stood from about me to Ben away because I put them where they could mark it better. I didn't want to stand out in the open. So I stood next to the little shooting thing and I put the dog there so that she could get a much better view of marking birds down. But she had to sit very quietly. I didn't want even a peep out of her, not even a whimper. Birds were landing, getting shot at by a bunch of people and landing within 20 yards. Some were landing at 200 yards. Can't make a sound. Can't even creep a step. And she sat quite staunch and quite steady and quite quiet, and all the dogs did. And it was really, there was nobody there that complained about dog work. A lot of guys complained about their shooting and you know, different things like that, but nobody said anything negative about dogs. A lot of people didn't notice the dogs, and the people that did notice the dogs went, wow, that was, I mean, I think some guys enjoyed watching the picking up as much as they did the birds coming out, because we had 5 different dogs from 4 different locations around this thing making picks under control. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So we're gonna do it again. We'll do it again, and we got some twists that we're gonna do to it to make it more of a dog training thing. But this is what we need them to do. Sit quietly, sit patiently, be kind of nice to be around. Very good. So that's it for today. We'll keep going.
Drive home, and I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned